Quite often I get questions about whether or not Jesus ever declared he was God. And a lot of you who watch Christian videos, you already know all the passages that I'm going to go to. But there's a lot of people who are not familiar with it. So why do we worship Jesus as God if he literally never said the words, "I am God"? Well, believe it or not, he actually did say that, just maybe not in your vernacular. Let me show you. So for the skeptics who think I'm going to go straight to the Gospel of John, no, I'm actually going to show you in some other scriptures how he is declared to be God, although John is the most blunt about it. There are many times in the New Testament where Jesus actually received worship from people, and if he was just a good teacher of the Lord, he never would have received the worship. He would have refuted that. He would have pushed them away. But instead, he receives it because he understands he is God. We can see this in Matthew 2:11, in Matthew 14:33, in Matthew 28:9, and in verse 17. You can see it in Luke 24:52, and yes, many times in John, including John chapter 1, John chapter 9, verse 38. Then, of course, there's the most famous passage of all in John 8:58. Where Jesus talks about Abraham having known his time was coming and was glad about it. People say, "You're not even 50 years old and you have seen Abraham?" And he says, "Truly, truly, I say to you, before Abraham was, I am." That is absolutely Jesus declaring that he is God. If you go back to the burning bush where Moses encountered God for the first time, when God sends Moses to Egypt, he asks God, "What name should I give them that they may understand that you've sent me?" And God gives him the name, "I am that I am," or "I am," which is exactly what Jesus says here. Before Abraham was born, I am. He didn't say I was, I will be, I have been. No, he said I am. He was claiming to be God, and we know that the Jews understood this because in the very next verse it says, "So they picked up stones to throw at him." They were going to stone him for blasphemy. And this continues on throughout the rest of the Gospel of John. There are people who claim that Paul invented the deity of Christ because Paul's rather blunt with it too, but the problem is that John absolutely confirms it in his gospel, and the others, they weren't shy about it either.